drop point. Dispatch requested. Buddy departing area of operations. Has arrived. Marker placed.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Yeah. Whoa, whoa. Yeah.
Enemy presence detected. Map has been updated.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Enemy presence detected.
Whoa, whoa.
Map has been updated.
Yeah. 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 Whoa, whoa. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Weather will clear shortly.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Enemy presence detected. Map has been
Whoa,
updated.
whoa. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Enemy presence detected. Map has been updated.
base during the attack 9 years ago. Bring him home, boss.
Side op completed.
He's coming too. Roger that.
Action arrived at Mother Base. Marker placed. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Marker placed. Marker removed. Supplies requested. Supply drop complete. Marker placed.
There are goats around. With the local residents gone, they've gone back to the wild. There's sheep around. With the local residents gone, they've gone back to the wild. When you want to begin a mission, open your iDroid and select it from the mission list. I sent a list of selectable missions to your iDroid. They're all jobs that only you can handle.
Side ops list updated. Please select a support helicopter
Roger.
requested.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa! Yeah! Yeah! Whoa, whoa! Yeah! Yeah! Whoa, whoa!
Please select a mission. Unit dispatched. Unit dispatched.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ.
I don't care how you do it, but you've got to get us more manpower. If we're gonna get back at those bastards, our organization has to grow.
This is Pequod. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Support helicopter has arrived.
Yeah! 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 Yeah!
Gaining altitude. Departing.
Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Side ops list updated.
Like your horse, you can give commands to D-Dog as well. He'll normally follow you around, but you can also make him wait somewhere or lure an enemy by barking at him. Or you can sick him on the enemy to slow him down. Develop new gear just for him, and I'm sure he'll be capable of even more damage.
Commencing platform construction. Please select a landing zone. Heading to Mother Base.
Welcome back.
Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed.
Quiet's being held in a cell on the medical platform. She slipped out on more than one occasion, but she always comes back on her own. Maybe out of loyalty to you.
Conservation platform is really taking off, huh?
Yeah, it's like a meeting.
Some animal protection NGO asked us to get them out, right? So how come we can't come over to them?
Well, but they just asked us to hold on to them until they're ready to take them in.
What the hell? We're mercs, not zookeepers.
We'll deal with it all. Right? Why not?
boss. Promise you'll never let them. Send me out on my next mission, boss.
Emmerich is developing the walker gear for you and is supporting the R&D team from confinement. We're continuing to monitor him to make sure he doesn't try anything.
Thank you, boss.
Boss, thank you for saving those animals. Boss.
You can deploy a buddy from the ACC before a mission or from your iDroid. Think carefully about the mission's objectives before deciding who you'd better take along. If you develop specialized equipment for them, they'll be able to help you out in even more situations.
Unit dispatched. Please select a mission.
Roger.
Weather surveillance indicates turbulence out there. Try not to get knocked out of the sky.
Got it.
Quiet? Where does she think she's going?
You want to head out with the boss?
That'll be the day.
I don't see a problem with it, so long as she's with you. She's a crack shot, damn fine scout. Well suited for a clandestine op. Which is more than I can say for the others.
There's nothing damn fine about this... thing.
Here.
Hey.
Blades.
Wait a minute, that thing costs a lot of money.
each individual blade. And a depth perception.
Want in?
This is ridiculous.
We have someone observing from a distance, and she won't be allowed access to all of the base. As for Miller, well, sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than permission. The best part is, hiding is her specialty. If no one sees her leave the base, the staff will be none the wiser.
And if she gets away?
If that happens, you'll have to take care of her. But I have faith in you, boss. I think Quiet sees something in you.
It's a big risk.
But it's for the good of all of us. And besides, you can't deny her talent. Her unique skills and abilities would give you a hell of an edge out there.
I'll think it over.
How long are we gonna keep that woman here?
You mean Quiet?
My personal feelings aside, she's putting everybody on edge. You should hear the stories. I got sick from just standing guard at her cell. I won't stand on the same platform as that witch. She hit me for no reason.
What is this, a private army or a kindergarten?
The thing is, they're all serious. They're faced with something they don't understand, and a kind of mass hysteria has broken out. I've gotten wind of countless plots to take her out.
There are no grounds for this suspicion whatsoever. Put yourself in her shoes, assuming they see her as a prisoner here. No, even more so, if they do, she deserves to be treated humanely. I always thought our men were a bit more noble-minded, but... Look, I understand this is a stressful line of work, but to make her the scapegoat...
You've got it wrong. Quiet? She's with Cypher. We have men that lost their buddies to her organization.
You could say that about more than just her. Plenty of the men used to fight for another side, but they've all put that aside to work for the boss.
Cypher is different. And if you ask me, the boss is the biggest problem. Why is he protecting her? Some of the guys are starting to suspect him of... I don't agree with keeping her here either.
So what's your move? Throw her out? Kill her? She's our ticket to Cypher. And her physical abilities are outstanding. We could use someone like her.
Don't make me sick.
Her marksmanship, speed, stealth capabilities for a start. Then, there are the other things we've learned. Quiet appears to be able to use both eyes as master eyes simultaneously. That lets her track targets of different focal lengths at once. While looking through the scope with one eye, she can look for new targets with the other. That's why she doesn't need a spotter. She can operate alone, no matter the circumstances.
See, I told you she's a freak. No one would be able to control her.
No, there's one person who could.
Hey, you trying to get the boss killed?
Well, why don't we talk to him? See if he's willing to take her along.
I don't like this.
It's his decision to make. The two of them might even make a good team.
Ocelot said the number of private forces is increasing, and they've modeled themselves after us.
They're a far cry from the likes of us.
But why? 9 years ago, we made enemies of the world as a nuclear-equipped force, independent of ideology or state.
Yes. Sooner or later, the real UN would have stepped in.
So why are they giving these PS free reign?
That's our fault, too.
What do you mean?
What happened 9 years ago was a real problem for a lot of people.
is Angola's Mfinda oil field, upstream from the landing point. A spill has covered the whole area and crude. A pipeline that crosses the Muneni River failed, and now the shore's a mess. Not to mention the villages downstream have no drinking water. The oil runs to the pipeline from that facility. Taking it out should end the leak. The client this time is an environmental NGO. Destroy the facility. Stop that leak. This may seem like straight-up philanthropy, but there's another reason we agreed to it. The Mfinda oil field was outdated, abandoned. Then the rebel group UNITA moved in, taking it upon themselves to kickstart operations. UNITA's been rapidly modernizing its arsenal. Rumor has it someone's been selling them U.S. military hardware. Intel's analysis suggests the broker's a front company, Cyphers. Keeping tabs on UNITA could tell us who's pulling its strings. First, make your way to the oil facility. It's to the north, past Kuala Yamasa. The village is currently occupied by UNITA, so stay sharp.
Please select a drop point. Dispatch requested.
Boss, destroy the oil facility and stop the flow of oil. First of all, you need to get through the jungle and on to Masa Village. The oil field is beyond that.
Has arrived. The map has been updated.
The war industry we started has taken a pretty crooked course these past 9 years. With no other options, soldiers have become dogs of war, sent to conflict zones as private forces, or PFs. Guys we fought alongside are dying all around the globe for no reason. No banner. But it's how they survive. The demand for PFs here in Africa is especially high. Cold War standoffs, resource exploitation, tribal clashes. What's big business for developed countries has only brought conflict here. That mess you're standing in is just the latest example.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
It's Digitalis. It's toxic, but it can also be used as medicine. You've arrived at Masa Village. It's been turned into a supply hub for UNITA, meaning it'll be stocked with weapons and resources. Should be a thing or two that'll come in handy. Don't be shy. They deserve to be in better hands.
The map has been updated. Mark enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Marker removed.
Good. Good.
Sound of rainfall should help to mask your footsteps.
Delta 2, was folgt? Kommen Delta 2. Delta 6, was folgt? Kommen Delta 6.
Boss, destroy the oil facility and stop the flow of oil. Head north through the village, and you'll find the facility further on. The PF soldiers are speaking Afrikaans, an official language of the Republic of South Africa. Boss, we're gonna need someone with the Afrikaans interpreter skill to understand what they're saying. We'll look into it here, but for now, we'll just have to make do without one. You gonna extract him? Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Development complete.
Keep in mind that time doesn't stop while you use the iDroid. You can even move around while using it, but pay attention to your surroundings. Ever since the attack on your unit 9 years ago, the name Big Boss has become known the world over.
What do you mean?
Those of your men who survived traveled far and wide. They fought throughout the world. In fact, they're part of the reason we have all these PFs now. Every one of them suffered their own phantom pain from losing you. Talking about you wherever they went helped to heal their wounds. Your actions and words, your legend, has been told on every battlefield they've set foot on. Obviously, as the tales have spread, the truth's been distorted, painted over. Big Boss sacrificed himself to show us the threat that Cypher poses. He sounded a warning, so it goes.
A warning?
Too much power destroys the hands that hold it. Apparently, you chose to be a living example of that.
I never said any of that.
The moment any truth is passed on, it starts turning into fiction. The problem is, fiction inspires people more than facts. To the world, you're now the legendary mercenary Big Boss. The lessons you've taught the PFs are the reason they're so widespread. They're the reason they've survived. And you know what they all aspire to? To one day go nuclear, just like you did, and stand up to Cypher.
Of all the stupid things you could do.
They'll never understand.
You've made it past the village. Continue heading for the oil facility. It's located upriver.
To understand what drives them. Bottom line is, these guys want to be like their hero, Big Boss. And deep down, they all have their eyes on nuclear weapons. They say that a nuke is the only means of standing against Cypher. But these days, it's becoming little more than a slogan to rally the troops and survive in a cutthroat business.
Currently, there are 3 major PFs who've expanded into Central Africa. CFA, Rogue Coyote, and Zero Risk Security. HEC's investigations have shown there's almost no overlap between their areas of operation. It's not so much a turf war, more like they have a gentleman's agreement. If you do cross paths with them, you probably won't have to face more than one at a time. Still, don't expect a walk in the park. The CFA, Contract Forces of Africa. These guys are a major player. Their head office is in Pretoria, South Africa. That's also where the South African Defense Force is headquartered. We think the two are closely connected. An HEC investigation revealed that most of the CFA's operators are former SADF soldiers. South Africa has been locked in struggles with neighboring regimes for years. That means constant action. And we know better than anyone that's the best kind of training. A company drawing its... The Finda oil field is the property of Saner, South African Natural Resources. Saner drills oil wells wherever they can throughout that region. When the oil dries up, they abandon the facility. Then it's only a matter of time before the aging equipment starts leaking crude. That means United's takeover is the perfect cover for Saner. Now they can blame the spill on a bunch of oil thieves. However you look at it, Saner's far from squeaky clean. So they'll have plenty of combat experience. And unlike days shooting junkyard rifles out of beat-up pickup trucks, the CFA now supplies them with the latest gear from the West. On top of that, they've been combat trained by the South African Army. All that adds up to a much stronger fighting force. So don't brush them off. Look at the Angola-Zaire border region. The east bank of the Munene River in particular. It's a microcosm of a problem that stretches all across Africa. There's a civil war going on in Angola, fought between the government MPLA and the Western-backed UNITA. Zaire is still a dictatorship under President Mobutu, but numerous uprisings have broken out in its remote regions. With all the trouble elsewhere keeping their hands full, neither government has control over their side of the border. They depend on militias and PFs, as do the rebels. Government forces, guerrillas, militants, groups of all shapes and sizes hawk whatever resources they can to hire PFs. Conflict brings PFs. PFs expand the war zone, and more conflicts erupt in a continuous chain reaction. Sounds like our kind of work. Mother Base could grow by leaps and bounds. Boss, destroy the oil facility and stop the flow of oil. You've got a straight path to the objective. You should find it no problem.
Commencing platform construction. updated. Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. Please specify a project. Please select a drop point. Supplies requested. Please specify a project. Supply drop complete. You have arrived at your destination.
There it is.
Extraction
The oil facility.
arrived at Mother
To stop the
Base.
leak, you need to shut down the oil transfer pump and destroy the oily water separator tank. The details are on your iDroid.
Boss, what happened? Boss!
Boss, destroy the oil facility and stop the flow of oil. To prevent the machinery being turned back on again, you need to turn off the oil transfer pump and destroy the oily water separator tank. Check the details on your iDroid.
clear. Search for your fired. Speed lost op van Goldbach. Over.
Reserveer, begrijp. Onderzoek die area. Maar blijf op je hoede. Uit.
Their anti-air radar? It wasn't one of the targets, but that's put a hole in their air surveillance. The chopper will be able to get in close now. You can designate a landing zone near the outpost. button is probably inside it. Transfer pump shutoff confirmed. Next, destroy the oily water separator tank. That'll ensure they can never use the facility again. Target is in the oily water separator tank. Destroy it. Destroy that separator tank. You'll need to use explosives. Got any C4? That's one of the targets. The oily water separator tank. Destroy it. Just remember, the tank is highly pressurized. It'll explode violently when damaged. Be careful.
Delta 4 was goed. Kom in, Delta 4. Zitten er zo hier. Onbekende geweervuur geworden. Ik heb bevestigen op uw positie. Stuur instructie. Over. Er is CFDF, begrijp. Is wachtzaam in. Rating van je tijd. Uit.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Requested.
That's the oily water separator tank. One of the targets. take it out.
Stel van je. Ze gevaard verloren. Bespied laatste punt van contact. Hoor. CFDF begrijp. Doe je onderzoek. Maar eerst verzachter. Uit.
Separator tank. Objectives complete. Though security will be tighter after that explosion. Get out of there ASAP.
Support helicopter
Roger.
requested.
Arriving shortly at LZ. Alles geht weiter, das ist hier. Fokus alles in auf die Feuerhelikopter. This is Pequod. On station at LZ. Gaining altitude.
Development project has been added.
Mission complete. Great work. Boss, we took another look into Saner, the owner of the oil field. They were behind what happened. They hired the PF, not United. They restarted the facility all the while pretending they were the victims. One other thing. Saner's Johannesburg head office is just a room in a multi-tenant building. Company's essentially non-existent. 3 years ago, that investment fund stepped in and started gutting it through a series of mergers and sell-offs. And get this, the fund itself no longer exists either. It's a shell corporation, meaning someone is just using Saner's name from the shadows. But what about those strange corpses? Just what the hell were they doing over there?
Hey, Snake, I've customized a walker gear just for you. It features a silent running system, great for infiltration missions, and you can also summon it to your location. I've taken the liberty of calling it the D-Walker. It's armed with a suppressed tranquilizer gun. If you want to add other weaponry or upgrade the chassis, give the order from your iDroid.
Boss, I've updated the mission list. We've received a new job offer. It doesn't seem connected to Cypher or Skullface at all. But if it goes well, we may get an Afrikaans interpreter. The details are on your iDroid.
Please select a landing zone. Heading to Mother Base.
Quiet's being held in a cell on the medical platform. She slipped out on more than one occasion, but she always comes back on her own. Maybe out of loyalty to you.
Please select mission. Development project has been added. Please specify a project. Staff assigned.
Emmerich is developing the walker gear for you and is supporting the R&D team from confinement. We're continuing to monitor him to make sure he doesn't try anything.
Please select a landing zone. Please select landing zone.
Roger.
Weather will clear shortly.
This is Pequod. Arriving shortly at LZ.
Please specify a project.
This is Pequod. Have arrived at LZ. Will stand by.
Good dog.
Support helicopter has arrived.
Good dog. Good dog.
Dr. Clark works for ATGC, and they have connections to DARPA. Cypher couldn't function without the communications network DARPA's built. Meaning, Cypher has to be a part of the Pentagon. Or at least, the two are joined at the hip. DARPA is a driving force behind human cloning. It's a pretty high priority project for them. And this Dr. Clark, some say he's a pivotal player in Cypher. But that's not all. Every cell nucleus in an organism contains the genetic information for that organism. Think of it as a blueprint for life. Clark appears to be working on how to decode this information and rearrange it at will. If you could do that, it would mean being able to custom design human beings for specific purposes. Can you believe that? Suppose for a moment that this is all fact. A man of your talents, if your genetic information died with you, that would be a terrible loss for mankind. But what if mankind could preserve you for future generations by cloning you?
All right, enough. I get the idea.
Look, I know it's inductive reasoning, but this weapon to surpass Metal Gear they're developing in Africa, I believe it's something that uses this new technology. Speaking as a fellow scientist, it chills me to the bone.
That's rich coming from you.
If genes serve as our blueprint, then I wonder if they include an impulse that drives us to tweak the design. Can you imagine that? Genes, encoded with information that wants its children to decode it. Is life itself putting the direction of our next evolution in the hands of scientists? I guess it would take some real arrogance to believe that. And yet, it could be what Cypher's after.
I think you're barking up the wrong tree. But that was an interesting story. It'd make a good movie.
You have to believe me.
Where'd you hear all this anyway?
Where? I just overheard it in bits and pieces while I was forced to do that research for them.
Right.
Wait a minute. Look, I want to help you. I want to be of service here. I'm risking my life with this.
Is that so? Maybe it's time we brought someone else into the conversation.
No, not him. Not Ocelot. You can't do this.
Heading to Central Africa.
Several high-level British CFA officials are being held by their Afrikaner colleagues. One of these prisoners is the rescue target, a guy known as the Viscount. The target's location is unknown, but they're bound to have an interpreter present when they interrogate him. We've used info from the intel unit to predict the interpreter's location. It's on your iDroid. Follow the interpreter and extract the target when you find him. If you're going to use a weapon, be careful not to draw the enemy's attention.